Let's get started with today's story. It was supposed to be a fun night, a break from the mundane, a chance for us to let loose and forget about bills, work stress, and our endlessly demanding lives. But I had no idea that night would end the way it did, that it would become a turning point, a scar I'd carry forever. My name is Tom. I've been married to Vanessa for 6 years. I thought we were solid. Sure, we had our issues like any couple, but I never imagined she'd betray me. But life has a funny way of unmasking the truth. Vanessa had been looking forward to this Halloween party for weeks. It was hosted by her friend from yoga class, Lauren, who was famous for throwing over-the-top parties. Lauren's house transformed into a haunted mansion every year, complete with a fog machine, spooky soundtracks, and a ridiculous number of people crammed into every corner. "You ready, babe?" Vanessa called out from the bedroom as I finished tying the laces on my pirate boots. I'd gone as a generic pirate, eye patch, plastic sword, the works. "Yeah, just about," I shouted back. "How's your costume coming along?" "Almost there," she chirped. When she stepped out of the bedroom, I froze. Vanessa was dressed as a vampire queen. Her costume left little to the imagination. A black corset hugged her curves, a short leather skirt showed off her legs, and her dark makeup gave her an air of dangerous seduction. "Wow," I said, my voice a mix of admiration and unease. You look amazing." "Thanks," she said, twirling for me. "Too much?" I wanted to say yes, that it was too much, that I didn't want her walking into a room full of drunk strangers looking like that. But I didn't want to be that guy. "No," I said finally. "You look great." The party was already in full swing by the time we arrived. Music blasted from the speakers, and the smell of alcohol and pumpkin-scented candles filled the air. Lauren greeted us at the door, dressed as a zombie bride. "Vanessa, I'm so glad you could make it." Lauren pulled Vanessa in for a hug, her eyes lingering a bit too long on her costume. "You're going to be the star of the party tonight, girl." Vanessa giggled. "You're too sweet." I forced a smile and stuck close to Vanessa as we navigated through the crowd. People were dancing, laughing, drinking. Vanessa seemed to know everyone, stopping every few steps to chat with this person or that. An hour in, I noticed Vanessa had started to drift further away from me. She was laughing a little too loudly, her hand lingering a little too long on people's arms as she spoke to them. I chalked it up to the alcohol. She wasn't a big drinker, and she'd already had a couple of cocktails. At one point, I lost sight of her entirely. I scanned the room, my stomach tightening. "Hey, have you seen Vanessa?" I asked Lauren, who was busy refilling a punch bowl. "She's around," Lauren said with a shrug. "Probably mingling. Let her have some fun, Tom." Her words stung, but I let it go. Eventually, I found Vanessa on the back patio, deep in conversation with a guy dressed as a werewolf. He was tall, muscular, and had that cocky grin that immediately put me on edge. "Hey, there you are," I said, walking up to them. "Oh, hey, Tom," Vanessa said, her voice a little too bright. "This is Ethan. He works with Lauren." "Nice to meet you," I said, my tone clipped. Ethan extended his hand, and I shook it reluctantly. His grip was firm, almost challenging. "I was just telling Vanessa about this crazy haunted house I went to last week," Ethan said. "Sounds interesting," I replied, trying to mask my irritation. Vanessa glanced at me, her smile faltering slightly. "You okay, babe?" "Yeah, just, ready to head back inside," I said. Vanessa hesitated, but eventually followed me back into the house. For the next hour, I tried to shake the uneasy feeling gnawing at my gut. Vanessa was by my side again, but her attention felt distant, like she was there physically but not mentally. Around midnight, Lauren announced a game of truth or dare. I wasn't thrilled, but Vanessa's excitement was contagious, so I agreed to play. The group gathered in a circle, and the dares quickly escalated. Shots of tequila, embarrassing confessions, and even a lap dance. When it was Vanessa's turn, Lauren smirked. "Truth or dare?" "Dare," Vanessa said confidently. "I dare you to kiss the most attractive person here," Lauren said, her eyes twinkling with mischief. The room erupted in cheers and laughter. My heart sank. Vanessa hesitated, her gaze flickering toward me. For a moment, I thought she'd use the opportunity to shut this whole thing down, to kiss me and end the game. But then, to my horror, she turned to Ethan. Emotions spinning out of control. As I got behind the wheel, the drive home was a blur. Anger, sadness, betrayal, I felt it all. Hours later, I was sitting on the couch, trying to process everything when my phone buzzed. It was a number I didn't recognize. I hesitated, then picked it up. "Hello," I said. "Hey, Tom. It's Brad. We met earlier at the party, Lauren's boyfriend," the voice said awkwardly. Yeah," I muttered, unsure why he was calling. "Look, man, I don't know how else to say this," Brad began. "I thought you should know. Vanessa is upstairs in one of the bedrooms with Ethan." My stomach dropped. "Are you sure?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Yeah, I'm sure," Brad said. "I'm sorry, man. I thought you deserved to know." I hung up without saying another word. My hands were shaking as I walked into the bedroom. The framed wedding photo on the dresser stared back at me, mocking me. I grabbed it and hurled it against the wall, the glass shattering into 100 tiny pieces. Then I went to the closet, pulled out the folder where we kept our important documents, and found our marriage certificate. I tore it in half, then again and again, until it was nothing but confetti. I couldn't stop myself, years of memories reduced to scraps of paper. Standing amidst the mess, I felt the walls of the house closing in on me. The silence was unbearable, heavy with the weight of betrayal. I couldn't stay there another moment. I threw a few clothes into a duffel bag, grabbed my car keys, and left for a hotel. Once I checked in and got settled into the room, I went straight to the laptop. Without a second thought, I logged into our joint bank account and transferred every penny into my personal account. She didn't deserve a single cent after what she'd done. I didn't sleep that night. The bed in the hotel felt too empty, and my mind raced with a mix of anger, confusion, and disbelief. The life I'd known was shattered, and I had no idea what came next. The next day, my phone buzzed incessantly. It was Vanessa. I ignored the first few calls, but she kept trying, and eventually, I picked up. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice flat. "Tom, where are you?" she questioned, her voice frantic. "I'm home, and you're gone. What's going on? What's going on?" I repeated, laughing bitterly. "You're really asking me that?" "Tom, please, let us talk," she said. "I don't understand why you left." "You don't understand?" I snapped. "I told you last night, Vanessa. I told you that if you stayed at that party, we were over. And not only did you stay, you slept with Ethan." There was a long silence on the other end of the line. "Who told you that?" she asked finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "It doesn't matter who told me," I said. "What matters is that it's true." "Tom, she started, but I cut her off. "Don't bother trying to explain," I said, my voice steady but filled with finality. "There's nothing you can say that will fix this. I'm filing for divorce." "Tom, please," she pleaded, her voice cracking. "We can work through this. I made a mistake, but I love you. Don't throw everything away. Please come back." "No, you threw everything away," I said coldly. "And now you can live with the consequences." I paused, my chest tight with anger. "I'm not coming back, Vanessa. It's over." I hung up before she could respond. A few days later, I went back to the house to pick up more of my things. The place still felt foreign, like a shadow of what it once was. As I pulled up, I noticed another car in the driveway, one I didn't recognize. My stomach tightened. I hesitated for a moment before walking to the front door. When I opened it, I heard muffled sounds coming from the bedroom. At first, I thought I was imagining things, but then it became clear moans. My heart dropped as I realized what was happening. I didn't want to see it, but I couldn't stop myself. I pushed the door open slowly, and there they were, Vanessa, my wife, in bed with Ethan. My blood ran cold as my mind raced to process what I was seeing. "What the hell is this?" I asked, my voice a mix of disbelief and anger. Vanessa scrambled to pull herself together, but it was too late. I could see everything. "Tom, I didn't mean for this to happen," she stammered. I stared at her, my hand shaking. "Oh, So this is your version of I made a mistake, huh? That's what you call being sorry? Right after everything we've been through, this is how you show remorse. My voice was steady but laced with fury. I can't believe you'd do this to me. Ethan sat up, trying to cover himself, but I wasn't paying attention to him. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. I snapped a few photos of the scene, the bed, the two of them tangled together, her face flushed with shame. It felt coldly necessary to gather evidence. This would help with the divorce. Vanessa's face turned red, a mix of anger and guilt. Tom, please, I'm sorry. This wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't know you would come back. You said you wouldn't. I stepped closer, my voice trembling with fury. You didn't know I'd come back? Really? So that's what you do when I'm not home. You bring other men into our bed and sleep with them. I took a step back, shaking my head in disbelief. Wow, I can't believe it. I actually married a... I took another photo, capturing her expression, one of pure regret. You have 2 days. 2 days to get your things and leave this house. If you don't, I'll call the police. You don't get to just stay here after everything you've done. You don't get to play the victim anymore. Her eyes widened in shock, but I stood my ground. The anger was building, but it was more of a dull ache now, as if I had already shut off the emotional part of me that cared for her. I'll file for the restraining order if I have to, I added coldly. I won't tolerate being disrespected in my own home. Get out, Vanessa, and don't even think about trying to stay here any longer. I turned on my heel and walked out of the room, not sparing another glance at her or Ethan. The divorce process was painful but straightforward. Vanessa moved out of the house within 2 days, taking her things and leaving behind only the echoes of what once was. I deleted every photo of us from my phone, erased every reminder of her from my life. They say time heals wounds, but some scars never fade. Vanessa's betrayal taught me a hard lesson. Love is not enough. Trust, respect, and loyalty are just as important. Without them, love is nothing more than an illusion. As for me, I'm moving forward, day by day. Halloween will always remind me of that night when my world fell apart, but also the night I found the strength to walk away from someone who didn't value me. And for that, I'm grateful. Thank you for watching.